16. I can't believe it happened to me. I had nowhere to go. My parents were fighting so badly. It was either leave or get caught up in the mess, and who knows what would have happened. I ran away. I ended up sleeping under a bench that night. I was so scared. I just didn't want anyone to notice me. But you know what? Someone did. His name was Jake. He was going to work that day, and he offered to give me a safe place to stay. I didn't really want to go. I was scared. I wasn't sure if he was the real deal. But I was cold and hungry, and he was so kind. Things worked out pretty good. He was actually quite nice to me, and after a couple of months, we ended up in a relationship together. But you know what? When Jake wasn't busy doing his work, he was thinking about alcohol, taking drugs, shooting up, and of course, controlling me. I found myself running away again. I didn't know what I was going to do. I walked and walked for hours. I ended up just sitting in the corner of a store, just on the side, out of sight, and someone else noticed me. Her name was Nancy. She stood right next to me and she asked what was going on. I don't know what happened, but I told her everything I was going through, and how shaky I was because of the drugs. She told me that she needed to take me to a hospital, and if I was willing to go, that they could get me off the drugs and that she'd follow up. And you know what? She did. Once I got discharged from the hospital, Nancy took me to her office, and we talked about everything. I talked about how I ran away from a bad situation, and that I'm not a bad person just because I'm addicted to drugs. I didn't even drink. I was an honor student in school before all of this happened. And she really understood. She talked to me about supports and about doing what we could, detox treatments, community housing, financial supports, even a schooling subsidy. It was amazing. I had no idea that options like this even existed. She told me that I wasn't alone and that they were there to help me. She asked me if I had a doctor or a place to stay that night. She asked me if I'd eaten. Social workers aren't as bad as what we think they are. After going to the hospital and getting through my detox, my body was finally free of all the drugs. And you know what? Nancy connected me with a counselor, and she really helped me to understand the position that I was in. And it wasn't my fault what my parents were going through. She taught me how to help myself and how to think differently through a therapy called CBT. Oh, it was life-changing. I learned a lot of things, and one main thing I learned is that I'm not alone. Others just like me have gone through some similar stuff. For instance, did you know that the number of women experiencing poverty and homelessness is on the rise? 27% of shelter users are women, 16% of senior women are in poverty, and 1.9 million plus are living on such a low income that they're dangerously close to being homeless. I also learned through the process that 1 in 7 living in homeless shelters are children. And approximately 20% of people that are experiencing homelessness are between the ages of 13 and 25. They're my age. Can you believe it? Hidden homelessness, I learned that that's people who just live out of their car or stay with a friend. And according to Statistics Canada, 1 in 5 will be in that situation for at least a year. And I also learned that people who have childhood abuse like what I did, and people who have disabilities, they're more likely to experience hidden homelessness than other people are. Some of the greatest helps that I got was general practitioners. My doctor referred me to the hospital for detox again afterward when I relapsed. I was able to ask a lot of questions. The doctor was able to ask a lot of questions, and he really helped me to navigate through the healthcare system. You don't just get off drugs one time. It's a really hard process. I got referrals to counselors who provided CBT, a social worker who connected me to community supports for employment, and even a psychiatrist who helped me get on the right kinds of medications so that I wouldn't relapse again. And you know what? Because of all the help I received, I'm now safe in my own little place, and I'm going to school. I work. I even have my support cat Minnie to snuggle with at the end of the day. Sure, things aren't perfect, but I can manage, and I feel safe. What more could I ask for? I have supports I can call day or night. There's even an emergency phone line I can call. There is always hope, despite what many may say. And you know, some people do actually believe your story. So you don't have to feel like you're never going to be heard, or if you go through something like what I did, that no one will believe you. People out there do believe you, and you're not alone. Just remember, drugs are powerful. Sometimes you may need medical help to get rid of all of them before anything else. You can't always do this on your own. And if you want to change, help is out there. And a good place to start is your general practitioner. The time is now. Don't wait too long to start your new tomorrow today. While things turned out okay for me, for many people it doesn't, because they don't know where to turn. So if you find yourself in a similar situation, be sure to reach out for help. Here I've given a list of services that are available right in here in Toronto. There's Canadian Housing and Renewal Associations, a Centre for Equity Rights Accommodation. There's the City of Toronto Housing and Homelessness Supports and Initiatives, and the Fred Victor Centre, Habitat for Humanity, and so many more. But I think the one that really helped me the most was CAMH. It's community and mental health. They really listen to you, and they really care, and they can make all the difference in the world. Here's a list of some other supports. Please be sure to look them up. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you've learned that you're not alone and that there's help.